Family, hope everybody's doing all right today. I wanted to get right into it. So it's something about I've been noticing while being in my entrepreneurship, embracing my entrepreneurship journey, as I'm also a creative artist as well. But I like to use my creativity and my artistry to connect with clients. I look at it as therapeutic arts. It is a part of wellness. It's my therapeutic artistry that I use to connect with people and to also share and express through a healthy ventilation system that could also help people, because my art is very intentional and it coincides with my purpose within my business as a preventative medicine practitioner. But what I noticed as an entrepreneur when I started my business, that sometimes I would get left out as if I'm just supposed to be a rapper who works a regular job, but creates an image of being a rapper, but works a regular job while pursuing a career as a rapper. It's like I didn't count because I'm an actual businessman who still does music. It's like I was getting left out of the music scene for being a businessman, and I didn't take it personally. I looked at it as a real spiritual example of how imagery is power, and how, a lot of people think when you're pursuing a career in music that you have to always have an image on about yourself as that particular artist and that one thing. Like, for instance, like if you're an artist, you can't do anything else but sing. If you're an artist, you can't do anything else but play your instrument or rap. When really, nowadays it's more about everything else but the music. Like, who are you? How can you connect with your crowd outside of your music? How do you communicate during your interviews? How can you communicate in general about your art? What sets you apart outside of you just putting out music and working a regular job? As an artist, funding yourself, there's nothing wrong with working a regular corporate job. However, as an artist, when you're working a job, you can get caught up in like, man, my art is gonna get me off this corporate plantation, and this art is gonna help me change my life, and it is. However, you develop skill sets as an artist that can take you off your job right now. If you tap into those skill sets of, being able to persuasive speech, being able to look a crowd, get in front of people and express yourself, engineering, graphic design, writing skills, blogging, learning different, website design. All these skills you learn as an artist, software utilization, all these skills you learn as an artist, event curation, social media presence, all of this, all of these skills we've learned, we can utilize these skills to get off our job and develop other side hustles, or even LLCs, do business as such with those skills we learned, rather than worried about the image of being a rapper or a singer or a rock star. Rather than concerning ourselves with the image, we should be immersing ourselves in the process of learning the skills to become that sensational creative or artist that we're striving to be, to get us out. Because ultimately getting us from trading time for money will give us more freedom to create. It'll give us more freedom to create. So while we're trading time for money, on the other side of it is like creating this image of being an artist outside of work is taking so much energy to uphold this image, rather than us just being who we are and taking our audience and our following through the process of getting off of that day-to-day 9-to-5 corporate plantation or corporate job, taking them through the process of that, documenting it, and being truly authentic as an artist, showing your following what it really takes, who you really are to the core of you, and how passionate you are to really go full time into your craft. That's what I thought it was about. But I noticed the exclude, how I get excluded out sometimes, not as much now because people are catching on to, while I have been putting out more art, I have been putting out more music and more and therapeutic arts, and expressing myself through my art and connecting with people. They realize like, oh, that's what he was doing. He actually was brand scripting, because my music matches exactly what my brand is. My music is intentional, and it matches exactly what Supreme Wellbeing is. Plant-based or waste, it represents the brand. Supreme Wellbeing is the business. Plant-based or waste is the brand or the story behind the business. Plant-based or waste is the personality behind Supreme Wellbeing. Plant-based or waste is the core foundational piece of what started Supreme Wellbeing, and the story within the story of Supreme Wellbeing lies with plant-based or waste, and how layered of an individual he is, how diversified his thought patterns are, how he can share different things about himself, his content, what he does as a preventative medicine practitioner for community initiative, and how he incorporates that within his music. You know? So that, I feel like now I'm getting more embraced and accepted by the local music scene, I should say, like I'm new, when I actually have been doing music since I was 13 years old. Maybe even a little bit before that. Professionally, 13 years old. So I see how artists now are making the connection between their music career and being an actual business, and how to brand that, and not just being a one-trick pony, and diversifying their portfolio with curating events, coming up with media, starting podcasts, creating content, not just going to the studio rapping and then going to clock in at your job, but creating this persona or illusion of you're living this lifestyle of a rapper that you're trying to create. That's backwards, you know? So that's something that, it's something that I wanted to kind of clarify with me, is like, you're going to see more intentionalized therapeutic artistry from me, because it's a way that I connect with clients. It's actually a lead generating magnet for me, because I can connect with people through my art. And I love that. You know, just being more direct and understanding more of who I am and where I'm taking my business and where I wanted to go. A business, the brand scripting and the money that you generate from the business is the tool that you use to push the business forward. All right, so just conjure up all your skill sets and put it out there and use them. Monetize them. Don't just put yourself in a box of doing one thing. All right? Peace and wellness to the family.